Dun 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 dun. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Codo Cinema, the podcast show where I talk about movies. I'm your host, Mark Codo, aka Codoman. Well, folks, it's good to be back. It's good to be back on the air on my podcast. As many of you probably may or may not know, I was in Florida for summer vacation for a week, which was absolutely fun. And we actually went to Universal Studios and took a Royal Caribbean cruise as well. And I'll say this: the vacation itself was a lot of fun. I mean, definitely had a fun vacation, but of course, now I'm back home. So might as well talk about a movie. Right, Mike? But yep. So anyway, you saw the film that Mike and I are going to talk about. Yes, we are going to talk about Shark Tale, which is arguably probably one of the strangest DreamWorks movies. That arguably one of the strangest DreamWorks movies to come out of DreamWorks Pictures, although quite evidently an underrated film. Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. For a film from DreamWorks like Shark Tale, you're asking yourself, what is this? Like, is this DreamWorks ripping off Finding Nemo? I mean, I guess you could say it kind of did in some. I guess you could say it kind of did, but obviously it references more with Jaws, and of course mafia-based movies like Goodfellas, The Godfather, just to name a few, and including SpongeBob SquarePants, the TV show.
Well, true, but not exactly.
Right.
And also, don't forget, there's also a Scarface movie as well.
Right. So yeah, anyway, Shark Tale. Shark Tale is a 2004 American animated adventure film, directed by Vicky Jensen, Bilbo Bergeron, and Rob Letterman, and written by Michael J. Wilson and Rob Letterman. Produced by DreamWorks Animation, the film features the voices of Will Smith, Robert De Niro, Renee Zellweger, Angelina Jolie, Jack Black, and Martin Scorsese, with the plot following an underachieving anthropomorphic fish named Oscar, who falsely claims to have killed the son of shark mob boss Don Lino in an attempt to advance his community standing. Oscar teams up with the mobster's younger son Lenny to keep up the facade.
Looks like an interesting plot.
Interesting plot right there. You got Will Smith, who plays a fish, and Jack Black playing a shark. Although Jack Black will go on to voice a panda in Kung Fu Panda with DreamWorks.
Of course, and this is obviously Jack Black's second voice role overall.
Yes.
Because he actually did a voice role before in an animated movie.
He voiced a saber-toothed tiger in Ice Age.
Yes. And of course, this is Will Smith's first voice role.
That's right. This is Will Smith's first voiceover role for a movie.
Yes.
Also to note too, I did mention DreamWorks. Universal Pictures is also involved with this movie since they technically bought DreamWorks in the late 2010s. So technically, since I mentioned Universal, because Mike and I went to Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida, this is technically a Universal DreamWorks movie that we're talking about.
Of course, and we didn't even know that this movie existed.
We didn't even know this movie existed. Now, we have seen our fair share of DreamWorks movies, most notably Prince of Egypt, B-Movie, Shrek 1 through 4, Over the Hedge,
Flushed Away,
Wallace the Gromit, Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
You also got, and of course, the Kung Fu Panda franchise.
The Kung Fu Panda films, all three Madagascar movies, including Penguins of Madagascar.
There's also Monsters vs. Aliens.
Oh yeah, and we have seen our fair share of DreamWorks movies, but Shark Tale is one of those movies like wait, this movie existed? And of course, there's definitely gonna be a ton of people who grew up with this movie too, because this movie came out in 2004, right around when Shrek 2 was coming out as well. It premiered at the Venice Film Festival on September 10th, 2004, and was theatrically released in the United States by DreamWorks Pictures on October 1st. It was a box office success, grossing $375 million worldwide against a $75 million budget, becoming the ninth highest grossing film of 2004. However, it received mixed reviews from critics, with advocacy groups criticized the film for its use of Italian American stereotypes. It was nominated for Best Animated Feature at the 77th Academy Awards. But that movie would lose out to The Incredibles,
Yes.
which also came out that same year.
Yes, and also the Shark Tale movie also criticized for its reliance on pop culture cliches.
Yeah, obviously, yes. There's definitely a lot of pop culture references in this movie.
Don't worry, Shrek did that too.
I mean, Shrek did that too, but in hindsight, Shrek did it better.
Uh-huh. But Shark Tale, not so much.
Shark Tale, not so much, because there's definitely a lot of puns in that movie.
This movie does have its problems.
Yeah, where Shrek worked. Think about it. Shrek worked because it was in because it had a setting where all the fairy tale creatures were basically, citizens in Shrek's world. So you could definitely pick up on the pop culture references in the Shrek movies. Because it was a fantasy setting.
Mm-hmm.
But with Shark Tale is basically, like, what is it poking fun of?
Yeah.
It's basically, it's mostly poking fun of, like, it's basically mostly a gangster film a little bit.
Yes.
Like from the mafia gangster. And in fact, this movie, I feel like this movie would have been PG-13. This was, come to think of it, a Shark Tale movie that is basically, a animated mafia-esque movie, if you really think about it. Because this whole movie is basically, a film called Shark Tale. Well, actually, it was supposed to be Shark Slayer.
Shark Slayer?
Yeah, it was changed to Shark Tale about a year before release because Jeffrey Katzenberg thought the title might scare families away. Although the title still appears in some early promotional material, the change itself is clear in the movie, as in the song before the credits, the singers interlock between calling the movie Shark Slayer and Shark Tale.
That's kind of surprising.
I mean, Oscar himself refers to himself as the Shark Slayer. Now, if you're going to do like a Shark Tale, wouldn't it have been more, telling a story, right?
Yes.
What if, a tale itself, like, wouldn't that be like Oscar as like an older fish be the one telling the story? That could have been something. Like, it could have opened up with an older Oscar telling the story of how he became the Shark Slayer. And of course realize that, yeah, it was all a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
It would have worked.
I feel like that would have been better, in my opinion. Think about it. A Shark Tale, telling it from Oscar's point of view to, like, his fish children, right? He'll be telling that story, right?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that would have sticked a little better. I mean, here's the thing. Now, actually, here we go. Yeah. So, according to old storyboards and plot outlines drafted on September 10th, 2001, the film was intended to be a PG-13 crime tragedy that has a love triangle between Sykes, Lola, and Oscar, as well as a subplot that involves the pollution of the ocean causing the fish to be anthropomorphic. The original writers were fired because Jeffrey Katzenberg didn't like the series' idea and decided it would be better if it was comedic, in the vein of SpongeBob.
Wow. Yeah, I'd say that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, come to think of it, it would have been interesting, a PG-13 DreamWorks animated film.
Yeah.
I think that could have, come to think of it, that's not a bad idea. Because that's not a bad idea, because part of the plot also follows the shark mafia.
Yes.
Because let's think about this. Mafia, there's a bunch of mafia films out there. You got Goodfellas, Godfather, even the Irishman. Those are just to name a few, and Casino.
There's also a Scarface.
Scarface, yes. Those are like mafia films, right? Those films are basically hard R-rated films.
Yes. And of course, speaking of mafias, Robert De Niro is in this movie too.
And so is Martin Scorsese.
And they actually both collaborated with each other.
Yeah, having an animated mafia inspired movie like Shark Tale, I mean, that would be interesting. I mean, but of course, this is supposed to be like a kid friendly version of it.
Yes.
So I guess that's why they decided to like make the sharks the mafia gangsters.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting. I mean, a PG-13 Shark Tale movie
In
that would have been interesting right there.
a DreamWorks animated movie.
Yeah, that would have been their first PG-13 movie.
This would have DreamWorks animation. They would have taken to the next level with
Yeah.
a PG-13 film.
Well, I guess in hindsight, they wanted to keep this family friendly.
Right. I mean, there are other DreamWorks animated movies that almost went into the PG-13 territory.
Well, I'm not very sure. I wouldn't say PG-13, but you know, their films, some of their films do get a little edgy, which you know, kind of stretches the bar for a PG movie.
Right.
So anyway, one of the producers, just to give him background on this movie, Bill Demashek, explained the title change of Shark Slayer to Shark Tale, and I quote, in the beginning, we set out to make a movie a little more noir, perhaps a little darker than where we've landed. Shark Tale is the first all-computer animated film produced at DreamWorks Animation's Glendale facility, which previously animated the studio's hand-drawn animated films, as well as their first computer animated film not to be produced by Pacific Data Images.
Oh.
So yeah, I mean, in hindsight, this would have been like a little more noir, kind of like a film noir, like a detective stuff, mixing in with the mafia stuff.
Maybe put it in black and white.
Oh wow, that actually would have been a challenging thing.
Yeah.
In fact, just to move forward, James Gandolfini was initially set to voice the kingpin shark Don Lino. When he later dropped out, Robert De Niro took over the role.
I would imagine James Gandolfini voicing one of the sharks.
Yeah.
I mean, he's known for. I mean, James Gandolfini was in The Sopranos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, just to move forward, the film was produced concurrently with Finding Nemo, another animated film set underwater, which was released a year and a half earlier. DreamWorks Animation CEO Jeffrey Katzenberg defended the film, saying that any similarities are mere coincidence. We have been open with the Pixar people, so we don't step on each other's toes.
Huh. Well, Jeffrey Katzenberg actually worked with Disney before.
Yes. To anybody who doesn't know, Jeffrey Katzenberg used to work for Disney before he founded DreamWorks with Steven Spielberg and Geffen. So anyway, before I break down this movie, and yes, we are going to break down this movie, I briefly talked about Shark Tale in an early episode of Codo Cinema during its 4th season back at Eastern Illinois University. Now, we talked about this movie in a top 5 best and worst animated films. I talked about it pretty briefly with Marshall Mathers when we talked about Shark Tale a little bit. And that was like towards the end of that of an episode that we did for top 5 best animated films and top 5 worst animated films. And in hindsight, this was during the segment of the top 5 worst animated films. Now, yes, in hindsight, this is this is a pretty bad film from DreamWorks, but it's not I don't think it was I didn't think it was I didn't think it was the worst thing I've seen. I mean, I have seen much worse, but this is not like this is not a great film by any means.
No, it's not. I mean, now for children, by the time I feel like children kind of saw this when they were little, but when growing up, I feel like they can understand where they're coming from.
Well, here's the thing: when people kind of there's a lot of people who grew up with this movie, even when even when as adults, they still enjoy this movie. Yeah, I mean, sure, yeah, they think, okay, yeah, this movie was bad, but it was a lot of fun. It still got its fun moments, which In hindsight, I can see that because even though a film can be bad, it still has its fun moments. Like it's a guilty pleasure. This film is the definition of so bad it's good
Yes.
because people remember the bad. There's people who remember the bad stuff, and some of the bad stuff in this movie are actually pretty memorable and good.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the pop, and yeah, it's obvious. There's a lot of pop culture references in Shark Tale. Even some of the punchlines, and even some of the jokes and one-liners too.
Yeah.
Like the opening of this movie, like let's go to the opening of this movie. This film opens up in a New York style like underwater city that looks like New York.
Yeah.
I mean, but actually, first it opens up with the DreamWorks logo going fishing with this worm.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you hear the Jaws theme playing in the background.
Yep. So here's your first pop culture reference.
Here's your first pop culture reference: is Jaws.
And the worm saw the sharks.
The worm saw the sharks, and of course, one of the sharks was about to eat it. But apparently, the shark talks and turns out to be Lenny, voiced by Jack Black.
And of course, the worm saw Lenny, and fortunately, the worm faints.
Yes, the worm faints because he thought Lenny was going to eat him.
And then Lenny says, "Hi, I'm Lenny." Oh, little buddy, did I scare you? I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So he sets the worm free until his brother Frankie comes in, and he's like, Lenny, what are you doing?
Um, uh, well, I was just picking up some flowers. Here you go.
And then Frankie slaps him in the face, and Lenny was like, "Hey, Mom said it's not okay to hit."
And
then Frankie says, "Mom's not here."
Huh.
Dun 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 dun. And then he sings dun 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 dun. But Lenny is like, "Don't." That song gives me the creeps. He's talking about the Jaws theme from John Williams.
And then Frankie says, "What do you mean? It's our theme song."
That's true because it is obviously their theme song. And while that role, and you know what's interesting too is that Hans Zimmer, who composed this movie,
yeah,
Hans Zimmer, he told producer Jeffrey Katzenberg that he could not deal with any more epic movies, but wanted to do a fun animated film instead. And so he got the chance to compose Shark Tale.
Yes, I mean, I don't mind Hans Zimmer. I mean, he's a good composer.
No, Hans Zimmer is a really good composer.
I mean, he has done a lot of great movies.
I guess he wanted to take a step back and do something fun.
But his previous movies, like The Prince of Egypt, for example.
That was like one of his first. I think that was like his first Dreamworks movie that he did.
And then he also did Spirit.
Yes, he did Spirit,
along with the Road to El Dorado.
And now Shark Tale.
Yeah. I feel like Hans Zimmer really got a resume.
He's definitely got a resume. So anyway, with that being yes, Hans Zimmer kind of did like a parody of Jaws a little bit in the opening.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course we get to see the underwater city. I don't know the name of the city, but you could definitely tell it's that city. It looks like New York City.
Because according to the Coca-Cola.
That's not Coca-Cola, Mike.
The sign.
Well, that's not really Coca-Cola. It's actually pronounced Hora-Cola.
Hora-Cola?
Yes, and if you look closely at some of the advertisements, you see Coca-Cola, which is basically, a play on words for Coca-Cola. You also see Gup, which is basically a play on words like Gap. And then you see Fish King, which is basically Burger King.
And there's also Old Wavy,
which is basically Old Navy. Yeah, you can definitely tell. Like this is, these are the punchline. These are like the one-liners for some of these advertisements. These are some like the jokes, the in jokes. Like yeah, you can definitely tell. Like for the underwater city, right? Like Gulp, which is Gap. Coca-Cola, which is Coca-Cola. Fish King, Burger King. I'm pretty sure Burger King did an advertisement on this movie.
Maybe so.
Yep. So anyway, we were also introduced to the news reporter Katie Curran, who's basically checking in to see if all the sharks have swam away, who have swimmed away. and she's doing the morning report. She's doing the morning report, and of course, we get to see we see like all the fish enjoying their morning, right?
Yes.
And we even get more jokes, like some of the actors on the Walk of Fame, right?
Yes. And of course, we also got the title as well.
Shark Tale. Seriously, I wish this was something that Oscar, as an older fish, could, tell the tale to his kids, right?
Yes.
And then you also got Starfish Tours. I
Yes.
don't know what that's referencing, but
There's the gulp.
you mean Gup.
Gup.
And then you got Muscle Crow, Jessica Shrimpson, and Cod Stewart. Now, I don't know about Cod Stewart.
I think it's more like a John Stewart.
Is it John Stewart? Oh my goodness. Lawrence Fish Burn.
And
Yeah.
Seal.
And Seal. Is that Sia or just Seal?
Seal.
Seal. Oh. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, man. Oh my goodness.
man.
Muscle Crow, that's referring to Russell Crowe. Jessica Shrimpson, obviously referencing Jessica Simpson.
Jessica Simpson.
And then you got Lawrence Fish Burn. Get it?
Without an E.
Yeah, you get it, right?
Yes.
You get it.
So yes, we are also. I mean, there's like TVs, and then you got other fishes.
Yeah.
You got other news reporters.
Yeah, other news reports. Yeah, so yeah, you also could tell that there's the jokes. Some of these jokes, they're basically obvious that can get you to either groan or just laugh. I mean, it's kind of like a pick your poison kind of thing. But also, there is a pretty funny joke. Also you also got swim and don't swim, which is basically the stop signal for go and stop, right?
There's prawn shop.
Pawn shop, which is basically pawn shop.
And then the guy was like, "Yeah, it's fake. Fake. I worked there. I worked 8 years on that."
Trying to give his own pearl to the prawn shop.
And then we got
You got lobsters, which basically the subway station. I mean, there hasn't been a subway, which is basically the train. The CT, I guess, like their own transit
CTA or something.
their own transit subway stations. And then you got Sushi Bowl, and give it credit. This is actually a funny joke. There is a fish working at a sushi shop. No one's in there except himself. Just gives out this little grunt.
Yeah.
And then the camera pulls away. It's like, okay, that was a pretty funny joke.
Yeah. Yes.
But of course, like, we are introduced to none other than Will Smith himself as Oscar, the Shark Slayer, who basically I'm just gonna say this: the facial designs on these characters, they look really creepy.
They look kind of. I feel like the CGI in this movie looks dated.
Yes, you could definitely tell the CGI, and like the CGI alone on some of these characters are actually dated. Like, you look back, watch the first two Shrek movies, and also watch Ants. Ants. You also had Ants. The first two Shrek movies. Didn't Madagascar came out a year after that?
Madagascar came out in 2005.
Okay, so the first two Shrek movies and Ants, their animation CGI design was basically from their Pacific Data Images, which is DreamWorks PDI.
Yes.
Now, they did not do Shark Tale. This was in their own studio in Glendale. So, in hindsight, like, this is not their Pacific Data image.
No.
This is a different type of animation that they use. Yes, it is kind of similar to, it is similar, but you could definitely tell it's not the same type of style. It's not the same CG animation style.
No.
And Will Smith, I'll say this: Will Smith is having a lot of fun with this role. Like, you could definitely tell, like, it's basically Will Smith.
Yeah.
It's basically Will Smith being Will Smith. He's like, "Hi, I'm Oscar. I'm Oscar."
You might think you know, but you have no idea.
Like, Oscar is basically, he's a he does his usual, hip hop rapping style, kind of like the Fresh Prince himself, right?
Yes.
I'm just glad they didn't even put in like a hip hop song for, for himself, right?
Yeah.
Because we don't even know what type of underwater city he lives in.
He's not living. I don't. I think he's homeless. But
Well,
he's on. I don't know if he's homeless.
I think that he has a home, but he's just like, it's just like he wants to be, at the top, right?
But
And here's the thing. The difference between that and Finding Nemo, right? Especially most notably their underwater locations. So Finding Nemo takes place in Australia. It takes place in Australia, right?
mm-hmm.
Underwater in the underwater in Australia. We know that's where it's set.
Mm-hmm.
In this movie, we don't even know where.
No.
It's just a regular New York City inspired. It's just a underwater New York City inspired town.
Mm-hmm. But all. And I'm gonna be honest. Will Smith does have the voice.
Oh no, yeah, Will Smith has the voice, and he's just basically being himself in this movie.
And speaking of Will Smith, the same year Will Smith was in I, Robot.
And that's right.
Because
Which in that movie takes place in Chicago.
yeah, in the future.
Yes. So anyway, we are introduced to Will Smith, who's basically, a tongue scrubber at the local whale wash. And he fantasizes about being rich and famous while making his way to work by following in his father's footsteps, as I mentioned, as a tongue scrubber at the whale wash. And soon after he arrives, he is basically, he flirts with his best friend Angie, an angelfish, being voiced by Renee Zellweger.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, he talks with her, flirts with her, it kind of hinting that, yeah, Oscar and Angie, they're basically, like Angie is in love with Oscar.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Oh boy.
But Oscar is being Will Smith for some reason. Yeah, but Oscar.
But I'm pretty sure he's gonna get Oscar is probably gonna get slapped on.
Yep. So anyway, Oscar's, having a time at the car wash, working at the car wash, yeah. Dun, 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 at the car wash. That's actually one of the things people like this movie is because, the car wash song.
Yes.
They actually did a cover song of working at the car wash for this movie by Christina Aguilera, Missy Elliott.
But there's also an OG version of the car wash song,
Yes.
which is obviously a classic.
Oh yeah, obviously. So anyway, moving forward. Oscar brings Angie breakfast, which is basically, Krispy Kreme donuts, although I don't remember the punchline, but you can definitely tell it's a Krispy Kreme ripoff.
Yes, and of course also Oscar also meets up with these three fish children.
Oh yeah.
Which is right by the billboard of the penthouse apartments.
Yeah, one of them is voiced by Bobby J. Thompson.
Sup?
Yep. Sup. So they're all basically all four of them are like roasting each other, and Oscar's like, "Hey, aren't you supposed to be in school?" And one of them roasted Oscar says, "Aren't you supposed to be at work?" Oh, right back at you.
Actually, there's three fish.
Well, I'm saying four because it's Oscar and the three children fish.
And then I believe one of the fish says, "Cause you're so broke, your baloney has no first name."
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yep.
Yeah, they are roasting.
They're roasting him. And until then, there's this crab who is basically, I think his name is Crazy Joe or something. I'm telling you right now, he's one of the worst characters in this movie, but he's trying, it's like, why is he even there? He's just there. He's like, yo, Oscar, did you move into an apartment? I want to be your financial advisor. Like, dude,
Dude.
man.
Oh,
Bro, man, come on.
yo.
Dude, I mean, like, you can tell he is crazy.
At least it's not Mr. Krabs.
Nope. Like you can tell he's crazy. Like he's a pretty crazy crab because of the way how he's voicing, right?
Yeah.
You know, this guy, he's basically a homeless crab.
Yeah.
He's a homeless crab who's crazy.
And of course, also those kidfish, those crazy fish, actually spray painted the billboard that looks like a shark that wants to eat Oscar.
Yep.
Like, dude, kids.
Yep. Anyway, moving forward, back at the car wash, Oscar meets up with his boss and two jellyfish. Now the boss's name is Sykes, who's basically a puffer fish or a porcupine fish, whatever you want to call it, and he's being voiced by none other than Martin Scorsese.
I'd say this is probably his only voice role in this movie.
I think so. Wouldn't it be interesting if Martin Scorsese would have directed this movie? Like, can you imagine a Martin Scorsese animated DreamWorks movie?
I can see that.
I can actually see that. If it was, a PG Martin Scorsese animated movie from DreamWorks, I think DreamWorks just wasted that opportunity with him.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, look, Martin Scorsese, he's also an actor too. He's a good actor. He has cameoed, but also has supporting roles too. But in this one, I feel like I remember him more as an actor. I remember him more in this movie than some of his cameo roles. Like
Yes.
he had a cameo in the Taxi movie with Robert De Niro back in 1976.
Yeah, I think it's Taxi Driver.
Oh, was it Taxi Driver?
Taxi Driver.
I think it was Taxi Driver. I mean, Taxi. It is Taxi. Okay, maybe it was Taxi Driver. Like I remember Taxi. I just didn't know if that was Taxi Driver or just Taxi. But I know Martin Scorsese was involved with a Taxi movie, Taxi Driver.
Yes.
I mean, literally, can you imagine a DreamWorks animated film that is directed by Martin Scorsese? I can see. I mean, if Martin Scorsese is down for it, I can see that.
And I would imagine that this movie would have gotten universal acclaim.
I mean, imagine, because Martin Scorsese is one of the greatest Hollywood directors out there. Like, he directed Goodfellas. He directed the Taxi Driver movie, King of Comedy,
Raging Bull,
The Departed,
Casino.
He also directed Hugo as well.
Yes, to which that movie is also a kid family movie.
Yes, I think that one's PG.
It was PG.
And then he also directed Silence, and of course, The Irishman, and
The Wolf of Wall Street.
Wolf of Wall Street. Those are just a few names. And Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yes, and since you mentioned The Departed actually won an Oscar for Best Picture.
Yeah, I mean, imagine a DreamWorks animated film directed by Martin Scorsese. I feel like Shark Tale would have been that film. I'm just surprised they didn't even call Martin Scorsese to direct.
Yeah, I mean,
He could have directed this movie.
I mean, wow. Oh, DreamWorks.
Wow, they kind of blow. I feel like they blew an opportunity with that. But granted, this was one. They were in the early stages of their movies because let's be honest, this was when DreamWorks was on the rise.
Yes, while also beating other Disney animated movies.
That is true.
And the same could be said with Nickelodeon.
Right. Now, I'm just saying, I feel like Martin Scorsese would have been a better choice to direct Shark Tale. But if he kept this, like, if he does like a PG mafia inspired movie for like Shark Tale, I feel like with Martin Scorsese, it could have worked.
Yes.
It could have worked. That's just my opinion. So anyway, Sykes has a discussion with Oscar, and of course he tells Oscar that he owes 5,000 clams and has to pay it back by the next day.
Well, why is that?
Okay, so apparently the reason why, because apparently, Sykes and Don Lino, voiced by Robert De Niro, like they're basically, he works for the mafia, right?
Ah,
Sykes works with Don Lino, part of the mafia.
well, looks like we got.
He's working with he's working with the mafia, which is the shark mafia in this movie.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like Robert De Niro went from playing the young Vito Corleone to voicing a shark of Don Lino
Uh huh.
in Shark Tale.
Right. Unfortunately, unfortunately, I guess the business that he's doing is not going well because he's like, long story short, from now on you work for Frankie and Lenny.
Capiche?
Capiche? Lenny and Franklin. I understand, but Lenny and Frankie, I understand, but Lenny, you can't be serious.
It does look like a Godfather parody to it.
Kind of does, and actually, that mole. I think Robert De Niro had a mole too in real life.
Yeah,
Because I feel like that mole was added into to the design.
and then Don Lino, that's his name, right?
Yeah.
He was like dead serious. It takes more than muscles to run. It takes more than muscles to run things. Lenny, he's got the brains. That's something special.
He's special. He's special, all right.
What's that mean?
Nothing. I'm just saying. Nothing. I'm just saying. I bring you in here, look you in the eye, and then tell you what's what.
What's what?
And what?
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 Well, nothing. You said what? You said what first?
I didn't. I asked you said, and then what? I said what?
What?
Say what? Say what one more time. I dare you. I double dare you. Say what one more time.
You're making fun. No. You misunderstood. Sorry, we're late, Pop. Lenny had an accident.
Yeah, I want to say Lenny had an accident, but maybe he kind of did.
Yeah, he was born. He was born. You're a comic genius.
Look, all I'm saying is the kid ain't exactly no killer. My Lenny is a killer. You hear me? A cold-blooded killer. Look at him. Yeah, yeah. Don Lino tells Sykes to look at Lenny as a cold-blooded killer when he's basically dancing in his own chair. Being himself. Do you call that a cold-blooded killer?
No, he's not a cold-blooded killer.
No, you can definitely tell. Like Frankie and Lenny had two different mindsets. One of them's a cold-blooded killer. The other one, peaceful.
Yes, I feel like Lenny is obviously peaceful.
Yeah. So this is kind of like. So basically, the reason why this is happening because Sykes doesn't want to work with Don Lino's sons.
Uh-huh. And then
of course, Don Lino was like, "That's it. You are out.
You're out.
What do you mean I'm out?
You're fired. Get your ass out of here."
Yeah, and wow, telling you that to Martin Scorsese, ooh, that ain't gonna look good. And Sykes gets stuck on a drawing of what looks to be Rose from Titanic with the diamond, with the blue ocean diamond.
Yes, and here's another pop culture reference. Titanic.
Yes, obviously Titanic. Basically, there's actually a couple times they reference Titanic.
Yes, and on top of that, you're gonna have to start paying me.
Uh-huh.
Oh boy, that's not good. For what? So nothing happens to that little whale wash of yours.
So basically Sykes has to pay Don Lino just so the wash can continue.
Uh-huh.
So he doesn't shut down the wash because Sykes runs that joint.
Yeah, I mean he does.
And Oscar works in there. So that's why Sykes was telling Oscar, like, okay, you gotta pay me. You gotta pay me so I can pay him.
Oh boy, that's not a good sign.
That's not a good sign. We even get introduced to Ernie and Barney, two Jamaican jellyfishes.
Yes, I'm pretty sure they're very funny.
Oh yeah, the jellyfish in this movie are actually pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. Like one of them is actually voiced by Dougie Doug, and then the other one is Ziggy Marley.
Ziggy Marley.
He's actually the eldest son of Bob Marley.
Yes,
He's actually Bob Marley's son.
Wow.
one of Bob Marley's son, and he actually sings one of the songs in this movie one of the songs in this movie, which was actually sung by Bob Marley himself, is actually played in this movie, to which Ziggy and Dougie Doug also sang. Every little thing is gonna be alright.
Dun 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 dun.
Yep.
Wow. So yeah, it's one of the Bob Marley songs.
Yep.
I mean, there are so many pop culture references
Oh,
in this movie,
yes.
to which we are totally singling out.
Uh-huh. So anyway, Ernie and Bernie are basically, the two jellyfish to Sykes. And
Sykes.
Yep, Sykes gives Oscar 24 hours to, pay him 5,000 clams so he can use it to pay off Don Lino.
Uh-huh. And Oscar was trying to do the snap it. You know the
handshake, the handshake.
Yes, to snap it.
Yes.
But Sykes doesn't want to do it at first.
Uh-huh.
And
But
then,
because Sykes is like, I ain't doing this crap, Oscar. And like I said, and of course he even points out like this little chart, kind of like I guess you could say bottom of the food chain or something.
yes, and there's also windows in the background, which also resembles The Godfather.
A little bit, yeah. Or it could be like a noir inspired moment.
Mm-hmm.
But in color.
Yeah, it is colorful.
Yeah. It was also interesting too, like Sykes throws a lot of receipts at Oscar, and he's like, "Whoa, Sykes, you remember? Oh, wow, Sykes, he kept record of this."
Yes, I feel like he's overdue.
Like overdue payments. Yeah.
You wrote everything down so you won't forget.
Yeah.
Wow, this is a perfect example of why you're in management and I'm not.
Because he wants to be a tongue scrubber his whole life.
Yes, I have to start paying Don Lino protection. Everything you owe me, you owe him. How you figured that? Simple, the food chain.
Yeah, the food chain. So like Don Lino, who's the shark,
Here's the puffer fish. There's me, and there's regular fish. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's me.
No.
No. There's plankton.
There's plankton. There's single cell amoebas.
Amoebas. Oh, and there's me. And then there's me.
Hold on. I'm getting there.
There's coral. There's rocks. There's whale poo.
There's whale poo, and then there's you.
And then
When he says, and then there's you, it's basically Oscar down the bottom with a confused look, holding a small broom in his flippers, and I'm just like, I don't know if that's, but I mean that's pretty funny.
and then Oscar was like, "That's messed up."
Yeah, it is messed up. So if Don Lino's squeezing me, he's squeezing you.
Uh-oh.
So basically, he's squeezing them both. You see, this is what happens when you get tied up with the mafia, right?
Uh-huh.
You don't want to mess with the mafia. You don't want to mess
Mafia.
with the mafia.
No, but because they are so tough.
Oh yeah, they're tough.
You're talking to me?
Yeah. Are you talking to me?
Mm-hmm.
And then and even Oscar begs to Sykes. He's like, please, what can I do? What can I do? Cause I like you, I'm going to give you 24 hours to pay up.
To pay up. Oh, how? That's your problem. Bring me 5,000 clams to the racetrack tomorrow, or else.
Or else what? The boys will explain.
Uh-oh.
They're gonna beat the living crap out of him.
That's very unpleasant.
Very unpleasant. He actually gets a black eye after that.
So that's when it looks like the jellyfish slapped Oscar.
More like stung him.
Yes.
So anyway, after explaining all of this to his best friend Angie, she offers him a chance to pay back the money by pawning a pink pearl that was a gift from her grandmother.
Yes.
And he also babbles about look, I want some of this up at the top of that building, like where all the famous people, where the somebodies are, because Oscar wants to be a somebody
But
because he acts like he's a nobody. When in reality, if you remember, when in reality, he's basically a tongue scrubber at the whale wash.
he is.
I mean, and actually, and here's the thing, there is a backstory where he explains to Angie that that his father was basically a tongue scrubber at the whale wash his whole life,
Yes, he is.
and was described as the number one tongue scrubber. And yeah, his father has like I guess an afro.
Afro. Oh. And for every year for 25 years. To me, working at the wash was the coolest job in the ocean. And there's Oscar when he was a kid.
Oscar as a kid doing a show and tell, telling him that he's showing everybody that his father is a tongue scrubber and he wants to be one like his dad.
But then I learned something I will never forget.
His entire class mocks him.
Oscar Dad's a tongue scrubber. Tongue scrubber. Tongue scrubber.
Like he feels guilty about it.
Oh.
But it seems as though he enjoys the job. He kind of likes the job.
He does.
But it kind of like, but nobody loves a nobody.
No.
Well, actually, someone does.
Mm-hmm.
Her.
Angie.
Yeah, even though, yeah, okay, yeah.
But,
okay, exactly. Okay, so yeah, he's a nobody, but he's got a job. But he's got a job, and he's got a few friends. Even though he may be a nobody, he's still got some people who care.
And Angie says, Oscar, you don't have to live at the top of the reef
to be a somebody.
To be a somebody. I mean, she's got a point.
It's like, you don't need to be rich and famous to be a somebody, you know? You just gotta be like, it's like, he's just gotta be himself. That's it.
Yes. And then Oscar says, if I don't pay Mr. Sykes back by tomorrow, I'm dead anyways. That means he's screwed up.
Mm-hmm. He's basically the fish that will sleep.
Yes, the fish that he will sleep forever.
Yep. So that's where Angie gives him the pearl. Her grandma's pearl to Oscar, so Oscar can go to the pawn shop and sell it off, for 5,000 clams.
But it turns out he went into the horse race, and he also remembered this line from Angie while having a conversation.
Yep. Actually, yeah.
So she was able to get the pearl
mm-hmm.
and show it to Oscar. I mean, the pearl is very beautiful.
Oh yeah, beautiful pearl.
But Oscar says, no, I couldn't. But Angie says, take it. I'll get you the money you need for Mr. Sykes. And then before we get to the horse race, we're also introduced to the other sharks. They're having dinner in this Titanic area. And then we also have a conversation between Don Lino and his two sharks. I know it's Lenny and Frankie, right?
Yes.
They're all having a conversations. They're having dinner together. As a family.
Yeah.
And then Don Lino says, you don't understand. What's there to understand? We've been over this 1,000 times. You're really giving
algae. I don't know how else to say this. Like, Don Lino wants his son to be, like a killer, right?
A cold-blooded shark.
Cold-blooded killer shark, like his brother Frankie. And, you could definitely tell, like I said, Frankie is the cold-blooded killer shark. Like he's eating, I don't know what he's eating. It looks like clams he's eating.
I don't think he does it. He's looking at the menu.
Or oysters, sir.
Oysters.
I mean, Frankie's eating oysters.
Your brother Frankie...
He's a cold-blooded killer shark. Thanks, Pop.
He's beautiful. He does what he's supposed to do. Wipe your face, please.
That's right, because Frankie's face is full of food.
But I feel like Don Lino is obviously the cold-blooded shark.
Yeah, I mean, he wants what's best for the family,
Mm-hmm.
He wants what's best for the family, whether Lenny likes it or not. But even Lenny's like, look, I get it, but I don't want to be a part of this. He's basically trying to tell him that he's different, but he's scared. You can tell how scared and uncomfortable he looks.
Yeah, I can definitely tell. I mean, a lot of people. I mean, everybody can be different.
Yeah, everybody's gonna have a different thing. Like, Lenny's basically a vegetarian, right?
Yes.
Okay, so he can't eat meat, but he's a vegetarian, so he can eat coral. Okay, coral or kelp. Okay, that's fine. I mean, don't mind that.
Yep. And then Don Leo says, "You understand? When you look weak, it makes me look weak. I know. I can't have that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Lenny, look at me.
Look at me.
Look at me.
Look at me. This handling over the business is for you, for both of yous.
Both of us.
You're acting like you don't want it. I need to know that you can handle that.
Taking full responsibility.
Taking full responsibility of the family business. Like, I mean, come to think of it, what if he doesn't want to do the business? I mean, I guess in the mafia world, I mean, it's a different story. Okay, different story.
Yes.
It's a different story. That's a different story. Like, someone doesn't want to do, passing the business on to another family member, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like he doesn't want to do it. So Don Lino puts his son to the test. He takes a shrimp out, and the shrimp's alive, by the way, and that's the film's director, Rob Letterman, voicing that shrimp.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's Ron Letterman voicing that little shrimp. And there's like a little, and he actually improvised that moment right there.
He did?
Yeah, he actually did. Like, there's this long, he does this story is like, he's like, and of course he actually explains, look, Dave, look, I don't want to eat this shrimp, lots of calories.
Yes.
And the shrimp is like, it's true. And the other thing is, my sister had a baby and I took it over after she passed away. And the baby lost all of his legs and arms and now it's just a stump. But I take care of it with my wife and it's growing and it's fairly happy. And it's difficult because I'm working a second shift at the factory to put food on the table. But all the love that I see in that little guy's face, it makes it worth in the end. True story.
That was improvised, right?
Yes, that whole part was improvised. But Don Lino's like, nah, screw it. Eat the shrimp. Lenny was like, no, stop it.
He's on a diet.
But what Lenny does next, he takes the shrimp and the rest of the gang out the window, setting them all free.
Oh, that's Don Lino wasn't very happy about it.
Nope. Because here's the thing, the whole you can't do this. You can't take. You can't stab the family in the back like that.
And then all the shrimps are like, no, don't.
Yeah. So the shrimp were set free. Even all the sharks are like, what's happening? And the shrimp is like, thank you, you're a good person.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
And then the shrimp was like, shrimp was so pissed at Don Lino.
Yeah, like he was gonna eat that shrimp.
Yeah, but don't worry, we're gonna get to see more on the shrimps later on in this movie.
And the shrimp was like, come on, fellas. Well, they're good fellas, aren't they?
Yes, they are. But for Don Lino and the sharks, not so much.
Yeah, he was like, and Frank is like, look, Lenny doesn't have to do this. And Donnie was like, no, we're doing this as a family. Both of you are gonna handle the reef as a family.
We're doing
Frankie, take Lenny out, show him the ropes.
Come on,
son, you're gonna learn how to be a shark. Whether you like it or not.
Oh boy.
Yep.
He's uncomfortable.
So yep. Anyway, we go to the racetrack. And Oscar has the 5,000 clams in a huge envelope but becomes distracted by his wishes of grandeur, and upon hearing that the race is rigged, places it all on a long shot bet by the name of Lucky Day. And this was heard by a couple of fish, and he was like, what? And he was like, what? What? And so, at first, he doesn't want to do it. It's like, no.
You can't do this.
No. I can't do this. Gotta pay the money. But wait.
What did Angie say?
And he thinks back to what Angie said, and she was like, dreams can begin small. You just have to bet it all.
You can imagining Lucky Day's lucky day.
Lucky day is lucky day. And okay.
And Oscar.
And he imagines himself winning that horse race and getting that top spot on the balcony. And of course, he was like, "Oh yeah, 5,000 on lucky day to win."
Oh yeah, I'm getting the money. I'm gonna do it. $5,000 on lucky day to win, baby. But
And the guy was like, "That's 32. That's 200 to 1. That would pay 1,000,000 clams."
oh, that's well. I guess that makes me Oscar
the millionaire,
the-
which gets the attention of this other fish, who is basically a femme fatale named Lola, voiced by Angelina Jolie, and she's a lionfish.
Much like a gold digger.
Yep, the gold digger herself.
Yep.
Well. Who flagrantly seduces an excited Oscar. But Oscar, who seduces an excited Oscar, who basically, I guess you could say tries to flirt with her.
And then Lola says, "Nice bet. Nice bet." Well.
Well, yeah. Well, she would go on to voice Tigress and Kung Fu Panda. And of course, he tries to flirt with her, but it doesn't really go well. Like, "Oscar, where's your friend?" Oscar, I guess Oscar left his Fresh Prince personality at home, huh?
Lola,
My name's,
my name is Oscar, sweetie.
Oh, and then of course Mrs. Sanchez, I guess Oscar's neighbor, and Mrs. Sanchez is like, "That hippity hoppity smooch talk don't work with me."
Oops. Yeah.
And
My bad. Hey, so Oscar, I was starting to think you skipped out.
Yep. So Sykes pops out of nowhere. Well, obviously at that racetrack, and he's actually furious that Oscar bet the money, but nonetheless agrees to see how that race turns out. Okay, you know what?
Well,
I'm just okay.
Up until Lola said actually spilled the beans.
Lola spilled the beans.
And she says he laid $5,000 on lucky day.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh, not good.
Not good.
The Oscar was like, no, don't listen to her.
And Sykes is like, $5,000? Mine $5,000? Uh-oh. No, it was another $5,000. Where did you get another $5,000, Oscar? Oscar the Shark Slayer, everybody. Basically a tongue scrubber who betted $5,000 on his rent money for a horse, for a seahorse that was supposed to be paid to his boss.
Oh, that's not good.
Not good. That is not good. Like, not good. Okay, I need to rant on this, but let's finish this up.
Yes.
So anyway, Lola leaves and she's like, "Look, deep down, I'm really superficial. And don't get me wrong, you're cute, but you're a nobody."
Yep.
Ooh. And of course Bernie and Ernie were like, "Oscar, you're cute, but you're a nobody. Wait, Lola, come back. I'm not a nobody. I'm a wiener."
And then, "You're unbelievable. You're in trouble up to your gills."
Oh yeah, he ain't wrong.
And still, you're asking for more? Oh, come on, go on, get in here.
All right, yeah. So anyway, okay. We're gonna pause for a second. Okay, we need to pause for a second because I need to rant on this. Okay, this is like, okay, I don't know how many movies where a main character gambles or bets or make a bet on their own rent money. Like, seriously, do not bet or gamble your rent money for more money if you have to pay your dues. Like in Shark Tale, Oscar took Angie's pearl that belonged to her grandmother, traded it at a pawn shop for 5,000 clams or dollars, whatever you want to call it, for under the sea, and he bets it all on a seahorse that he was supposed to pay to the boss, by the way, who, in hindsight, Sykes, who's basically Oscar's boss, works for the shark mafia in this movie. So, like, what are you doing, Oscar? You are making things worse. And by not paying that up, since clear enough, this is basically business, he's. Why? Why, Oscar? Like, why do you have to bet that much money? Why did you bet all of your money? This is like, why? Just pay Mr. Sykes. Okay, just pay him and watch the horse race. That's it. That's what you gotta do. I mean, okay, to all of you, okay, to all of you rookies out there, to all of you rookies out there, I don't care whether it's like in your late teens, late teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, who are basically getting their start out in the real world. Okay, if you're at a point where you gotta pay your dues, just pay your dues or your rent. Don't use your rent money on the day that you gotta pay your dues to gamble on something. All right, just pay the dues because by doing that is gonna make things worse. Just like with Oscar, Oscar had to pay his boss Sykes the 5,000 clams, and what does he do? He bets it on a horse race.
Yeah, that's a slap in the face right there for Oscar.
Obviously a slap in the face. And this is not the only movie. This is not the only animated movie. I actually talked about this. I actually mentioned this in my goat movie review, where Will Harris, the little goat himself, betted his rent money to play basketball with main attraction, and this was in the goat movie, by the way. Like he wanted to play basketball with main attraction. Like he has to like make 3 baskets in order to win, right?
Yes.
And he betted it with his rent money. Even one of his friends was like, "First your shoes, now your rent money."
Yeah,
I mean,
yes. Let's come on, Will, do it.
like, yeah, like, why? Why do you want to bet your rent money knowing that you have to pay the rent on that day? Like, seriously, don't gamble your rent money. Do not gamble all of your rent money if you have to pay on that day your dues, all right? I'm just saying, because otherwise, your action has consequences. And this is what happened with Oscar, because this continues on at the horse race or the seahorse race, whatever, where we see Lucky Day getting off to a rough start, and of course, Seabiscuit. Oh, just be glad Tobey Maguire's not in this movie.
Lucky Day struggles at first, but he was able to break the door.
Yes, Lucky Day breaks the door, and of course, Oscar and Sykes are hyped up, seeing that Lucky Day was going for the win. Even Sykes is like, "You better pray this whole thing worked out pretty well."
Yeah, I mean, Lucky Day has it. It was his big day. He was going to win.
Yeah, and of course, Lucky Day is passing Yellowtail. Passing Yellowtail. Seabiscuit coming up around the final turn. Here comes Lucky Day.
Here comes Lucky Day. It's a fish finger.
Caught up to fish fingers. Lucky Day's pulling ahead. Come on. I'm getting tired. I'm just thinking about counting all this money.
Oh my goodness, they're so full of excitement that Lucky Day is going to win.
Yep, and then of course Lucky Day keeps on going, and then Oscar and Sykes are singing their movie up to the east side.
Absolutely amazing. This looks to be Lucky Day's big day. It's Lucky Day.
But unfortunately, Lucky Day trips, punches himself in the face, and he loses the race.
And then Oscar says no in slow motion.
Yeah, he said this in slow motion. Like, dude, like he is screwed. He is screwed. Okay, if Lucky Day did win, he would have like stretched out his tail or tongue to the finish line, much like what Lightning McQueen did in Cars.
Yes, but unfortunately, the other horses took
it all.
Yes, like the seahorses, like I'll be honest. And here, so it was obviously fish fingers, followed by sea biscuits.
Yeah, Seabiscuit. Like I said, just be glad Tobey Maguire wasn't in this movie.
But unfortunately, things got even a lot worse. That Lucky Day lost the race, and Oscar the fish lost all the money.
Yeah, that's like, seriously, like I said, you do not bet your rent money. Do not bet, like I said, do not bet your rent money if you had on the day that you had to pay your dues.
This is gonna bite you in the ass so hard.
Like, yeah, I mean, like, pay your rent money first, then go along with your day. That's it. But Oscar didn't do that. He
Yeah.
betted all that money on a horse race instead of paying his boss, who to which he has to pay to the mafia.
Yes, he got the money. I was hoping that Lucky Day would win, but unfortunately, he trips underwater.
Who in the hell but trips underwater? And by the way, on what?
And then
And then Sykes is like,
That's it. That's it. I had it. Bernie, I want you to find the deepest, darkest hole in the ocean. And when you do, dig deeper and put him in it.
And then Sykes pops a balloon, which the child fish screams.
yeah, and the jellyfish ties up Oscar in seaweed. And of course, Sykes is like, sorry, kid, it's nothing personal. It's just business.
Yep, that's a slap in the face right there.
Yeah, it's business, right?
Yes.
Business with the mafia.
Mm-hmm. And then
Yeah, Oscar, I'm telling you, Oscar should have paid that rent money.
he should have paid.
Should have paid that rent money.
And then the jellyfish were singing one of the songs from Bob Marley.
Yeah, every little thing is gonna be alright.
Dun, 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 dun.
And they're basically shocking Oscar with their tentacles.
Yes, and then we get to see Frankie and Lenny again.
We get to see Frankie and Lenny again, and so we see Frankie and Lenny again. They're basically they're basically going out to do their couple of things, right?
Frankie says, Lenny, if you want to make Pop happy, you gotta kill something.
Yeah. So basically, we'll do.
Or I could find a way. And Lenny says, or I can find a very old sick fish and just wait. It's getting around your thing at the restaurant. You know how fish talk.
Beep, beep, bada boop, bada boom.
Forget about that. This, that, the other. Then how you doing? Boom. Then boom. Forget about it. You're dead.
Yeah.
And that's what it means. Forget about it.
So anyway, the two sharks set out to go in accordance with their father's wishes. Frankie spots the scene where Oscar is being electrocuted by Ernie and Bernie, and of course, Frankie sends Lenny off to attack. And Lenny was like, "All right, I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
What if I don't?"
Oh.
And Frankie is like, "Then don't come back home."
Oof.
Got it. And
Got it.
so Lenny goes on the attack. He basically pretends to attack, right? But he scares Oscar because knowing how Oscar's seeing sharks, he's scared of sharks.
Yes.
And a prime example, like he turns around, finds Lenny about to eat him, and Oscar screams for his life.
But he's still tied up.
While still tied up. He's like, wait, I'm sorry, Lenny, like this. And Oscar's Lenny's trying to taste it. It was like he licks him and he was like, "Oh, that's disgusting."
Wait a minute, do me a favor. Don't chew me. I'm not for what I am. I'm not gonna eat you. Don't do the whole head trip thing with me. Listen to me. Don't move until I tell you.
So he sets him free, but rubs his face on the dirt. And Frankie's like, "Yeah, you got this. Good job, Lenny."
I'm just pretending so you can get away. Huh? When I turn around, you take off. Yum, yum, yum.
Tastes like chicken.
Uh-oh.
And then Frankie's like, "Ah, no."
Uh-oh. What did I tell you?
I'm sorry. You want me to go now?
Just go. That's it. I had it up to here. Oh boy.
So Frankie goes after Oscar, and out of nowhere, this is basically so out of nowhere, a giant anchor lands on top of Frankie.
Oof. With a loud explosion.
And the jellyfish hear that, and Lenny goes over chomps the anchor off of chops the chains and gets the anchor off of Frankie, and he tries to talk to him. And it's like, Lenny, is that you?
I'm here, Frankie.
Come closer.
Yes, what is it?
I'm so cold.
That's just because we are cold-blooded. Whoa.
Moron.
That was Frankie's last words.
He called him a moron because he didn't do the job. And Lenny, like, he screams in agony, no, realize that this is his fault.
I mean, it was an anchor who...
It was an accident, because this was technically an accidental death.
Yes, but it came out of nowhere.
Which came out of nowhere. We don't even see the boat at all.
No.
We don't even see the boat at all, so this is just basically an out of nowhere, unexpected death. And of course, I was just like, I'm crazy, be tripping. What's the pot? What's the pot? What's the pot? Yeah, that's right. I got you. I got you, you damn shark. And the jellyfish came on board, and they all screamed.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and of course,
the jellyfish was like, please don't hurt us. It was all Ernie's idea. And
what?
Oscar and the jellyfish was like, Oscar, did you kill that shark? And Oscar's like, well, so he got an idea. He decides to lie. He's like, yeah, I did. Yeah. Exactly how? What happened? You want to know what happened, huh?
Yeah, you're standing on top of the shark. Well, he's technically not a shark slayer. He's afraid of sharks.
Yeah. So anyway, he's like big old shark, about 75, 100 feet long. About 700 feet long. So he's swimming at me, right?
Yeah, with teeth like razors. Ooh, razors, huh?
And I was like, you gotta come at the old like that, huh?
Hey, do the muscle thing. The muscle thing? Oh, right. I told that dude. You see
this guy? And I pointed like this. Well, he's got a brother, and he lives right over here. And I think it's time for a little family reunion. You know, he tells everybody. He's lying.
Yeah.
He didn't really kill the shark.
Well, he tells the truth at the end.
He really does, and you know he does. So anyway,
there was also a funeral going on.
Yes, exactly. So basically, you know, Oscar comes up with the new title of the Shark Slayer, and Sykes becomes his manager, Lola becomes his girlfriend, and Oscar moves to the top of the reef to live in luxury. So he's basically a celebrity at this point.
Yep, just like Will Smith, where he became a celebrity of himself in the TV show The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yep. At the same time, Don Lino has everyone at a funeral, and I think that one shark that he is right next to, I think that was his wife.
Probably. And there's also the crab saying, you want crab becoming like a financial...
Hey, Oscar, can I be your financial advisor?
Yeah.
You want to see my puppets?
You want to see my puppets?
Okay, back to the sharks anyway. Okay, haha, very funny. But anyway, back to the sharks. So yeah, the sharks have a little funeral for Frankie, and that bit was actually kind of funny because Lenny's body was in a casket, and he basically he was supposed to like float down, but actually floats up.
Yeah,
and also nice little funny little Titanic reference with the little what is it? A raft or something? I don't know what it is. I forgot what it was.
And there's also a picture of Frankie too. Well, he has like boxing gloves and a belt.
Oh, I guess he's a boxer shark then.
Yes, kind of like a raging bull.
Okay.
So yeah, here's another Martin Scorsese film.
So anyway, they all say a little prayer, and then of course we get this one other shark who's singing something, and of course one of the sharks is basically giving him his own thoughts,
prayers to Frankie.
To Frankie, and he's like, and this shark is like, listen, everybody loved Frank. Everybody loved Frank. Listen, everybody loved Frankie, but may whoever did this die 1,000 deaths. May his stinking maggot-covered corpse rot in the fiery depths of hell. Like, whoa. Okay, those were his words.
Yes.
And of course, and he was like, and I hope I hope Lenny comes back home safely. And Don was like, thank you for your kind words.
Yeah.
Giuseppe. That's the name of that hammerhead shark.
Yep.
And then, of course, he's sitting next to this octopus named Luca, who actually we saw at the beginning of the movie. He tries to fix that record player, which ends up playing Big Butts. Like, I got big butts and I cannot lie. And Luca's like, hey, boss, big butts, huh? Like, dude, come on. So anyway, yeah, Don kind of contemplates on the situation, what's going on. Like, why can't Lenny just? Something's wrong with that kid.
Who could have done this? Who could have done this? Don Leo. Don Lino. At this most difficult time. Please accept my deepest condolences. Thank you, honoring Don Feinberg, for honoring my son with your song.
Don Freeberg. So he has a conversation with Don Freeberg, and he's actually got news of what was going on.
About the guy who took out Frankie.
Yeah.
And then passes gas.
Yes. So anyway, so Don gets word about the news that there's this fish who basically turns out to be the shark slayer. Yeah, he turns out to be the shark slayer. Like, yeah, there's a shark slayer going on.
So it turns out to be Oscar.
Yeah, Oscar. So
Or
Don Leo decides to have this search party to hunt down, to not only find Frankie, but also hunt down this shark slayer.
Lenny. It was Lenny.
Oh, Lenny. Excuse me. Yeah, Lenny. Yeah.
Because Frankie's dead.
Yeah, Frankie's dead. So anyway, on the way, he meets Lenny once more. Lenny meets Oscar to let him stay with him because he does not want to go home.
And I believe Lenny is afraid it's because he doesn't want his father to get angry, even though Lenny wants to be more peaceful.
Yeah.
Rather than violent, like cold-blooded shark. I feel like he wants to be a good shark rather than a cold-blooded shark.
Right.
Find peace and justice.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, Oscar bonds with Lenny. But even before that, Oscar gets a little party, and he actually gives a multiple pearls to Angie.
Yeah. And yes, and he also got a lava lamp from Angie.
Yeah.
And then they were able to get to see this beautiful view.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Lola shows up.
Yeah, Lola shows up, and she was like, hope I'm not interrupting.
Oh. Yep, that's... Yep.
Yep, you can definitely tell Oscar's gonna be in love with this one other fish.
Mm-hmm. Or is he?
So, yeah. Anyway, Oscar and Lenny. So anyway, Oscar and Lenny meet, and you can definitely tell that both of these guys have chemistry in this movie, right?
Yeah.
Both Jack Black and Will Smith, they got good chemistry.
Yeah. I'll be honest, they both did a very good job letting their voices.
Mm-hmm.
And Lenny was able to sleep in this garage thing.
Oh yeah, and that little whatever that garage that he lives in. Yeah. That's Oscar's garage.
Yes, but Oscar wants to keep it quiet so no one can hear.
Right, but Angie finds out about this.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Angie finds out about it. Angie's like, so Oscar lied, right? You know,
he did.
Angie finds out about the lie and threatens to tell everyone, but Oscar and Lenny convince her to keep quiet. And in hindsight, even before this was also found out that Sykes was having a phone conversation with Don Lino while the jellyfish were playing this game of shark attack game.
Oh.
And Sykes gets this phone call. I was like, oh yeah. Here's this one thing that this shark slayer will tell you. Shut up. And Don Lino was like, shut up? You don't tell Don Lino to shut up. I shut you up.
Oof.
Yeah, and and Oscar has this phone conversation with Don Lino, and there's also a funny moment when another phone call comes in. Is basically Luca trying to order pizza. It's like, hi, yeah, is this his pizza joint? I have to order this pizza, and Don Lino's like, Luca, what are you doing on the phone? Wait, Don Lino, what are you doing working at the pizza joint? Get off the phone! But I'm hungry. Get off the phone. Okay, that bit was funny.
Yeah.
And of course, Sykes like, come on, Oscar, I'll help you out. Who's your puff daddy? Who's your puff daddy? Let's be honest. Why? Hearing that from Martin Scorsese, what?
What? You know Don Lino's not fooling around this one.
Nope.
But Robert De Niro, he's a very good actor.
Oh no, yeah, Robert. I mean, he's a good actor, all right. Mm-hmm.
And he did a fantastic job lending his voice to Don Lino.
Mm-hmm.
Even though James Gandolfini would have been a good choice.
Yeah.
But Robert De Niro, on the other hand, he's very good.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Because he's got that voice.
Oh yeah, he's got that voice. So anyway, we move forward. So Oscar wants to try to prove himself that he's actually the Shark Slayer. So he stages a fight with Lenny, and both Lenny and Oscar fight.
It's just like Superman.
Just like Superman. And even at one point where Lenny eats Oscar, and Oscar's like, Lenny, don't swallow. Don't swallow. And Lenny was like, who is this? It's Pinocchio. No, it's me, Oscar.
Yes.
Pinocchio reference. Whale eating Pinocchio.
Also, Lenny also broke the billboards, which turns out, which is also the reveal of Jaws.
Right. And it was actually, I forgot to mention something too, just to double back. Oscar flirts with Lola, who's basically impressed with him. Even at one point, tries to back out of a conversation going down the elevator. And it's like, listen, I don't want to deal with this anymore. I don't have a lot of time for the whole hand clapping, making the lights go off music. And as he about to go in his elevator, Lola grabs onto Oscar, kind of pushes him forward, and the look on Oscar's face, like the look on Oscar's face is just like, oh my,
Oh my.
he's like, oh my, that's that oh my, oh my, that fish is hot. He's like, his face is just he's got the sexy look face.
He does. I ain't afraid of nothing. It's nothing. Oh baby, you're so tense.
Yeah, you can definitely tell she's tense, and she gives him the encouragement to like, listen, don't let these sharks push you. Just you just gotta hey, you just gotta do your business, and they'll leave you alone. So yeah, that's where the whole fight idea where Oscar fights Lenny.
Yeah.
And then of course and we get to the fight. Oscar opens up Lenny's mouth after being swallowed by Lenny. And Oscar's like, are you not entertained? You can't handle the truth.
Yeah. You had me at hello.
Yeah, that's actually a line from Jerry Maguire.
To which Renee Zellweger was in it too.
Yeah, and Angie's face has like a weird look, like, huh?
Yeah.
I guess it's like a tongue-in-cheek, ha-ha type of humor.
Yes, and Oscar was able to punch Lenny, and it broke the billboard of Jaws, which resembles the
Jaws, right?
Yes.
So anyway, on top of that, yeah, Oscar literally finishes Lenny off by throwing him down an abyss, and all the other shark gang showed up, and Oscar's like, yeah, that's right, don't mess with me. Get out of here. I don't want to ever see your shark faces ever again. You tell Don Lino, stay off these streets.
Yes, stay off. Stay off of the flippin' streets. Well, or else.
Yep. So anyway, you probably may know. On top of that, yeah, Oscar being the celebrity that he is,
But
being the celebrity that he is, Lenny actually disguises himself as as a dolphin, and Lola gives Oscar a little fishy kiss.
uh-oh, not good.
Yep, that is not good. Angie is heartbroken by the fact that Oscar is no longer honest.
And of course, it ended up on the newspaper.
Yeah. And while her hedonistic rival Lola repeatedly reminds Oscar that he has her only as long as he is famous. So Lola likes famous people.
Yeah.
And of course, Don Lino's planning revenge. And of course, Don Lino's planning revenge too. No matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So, and of course, Oscar and Angie have this argument, right?
Yes.
Because, it's this argument because she comes to realize that Oscar is no longer interested in her.
Oof, that's not good.
That is not good. That is not good. Even Angie's like, just tell me, Oscar, because I'm curious. Why do you think she's interested, huh? Do you think for 1 minute that she would even be with you if you weren't the rich and famous shark slayer? And of course, Angie's like, are you that blind? Oscar's like, at least she treats me like I'm somebody. Yeah, well, would she love you if you were nobody? Oscar's like, nobody loved me when I was nobody. But Angie was like, I did. Yeah.
Oh.
That comes to show you that, hey, even though someone's a nobody, there's still some people who cared about you.
Yeah.
Even as a nobody.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Angie's like. Hey, you don't need this. You don't need these fans. You don't need to be rich and famous to be somebody. But even nobodies can turn out to be somebodies too, right?
Even Lenny was listening to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was like, I'm just gonna stay out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think he doesn't want to hear that conversation or argument.
Yeah. But Oscar leaves. And Oscar is feeling so guilty about it, so he leaves. And Lenny tries to comfort Angie. He was like, "Don't worry about it, Angie. He'll be back."
Yeah.
So then, then Oscar goes back to his to the big apartment building that he is, and he has a conversation with Lola. And Oscar is like, sorry, Lola, I'm dumping you." And Lola's like, you're dumping me?
Are you dumping me?
And Lola has this look like, it's not a good look.
No, but she is so mad as hell.
Yep. So what she does next, she takes Oscar, throws him around like a rag doll on the glass.
Oof.
On the windowsill glass. And everybody inside hears it, including Sykes. And Sykes is like, huh, young love. And
at least this was not a Mr. and Mrs. Smith fight.
Nope. So anyway, it comes because the reason why, because Oscar realizes that Angie has feelings for Oscar,
and now Oscar is coming back to her.
Yeah. And now of course now the next day Oscar buys some Valentine's Day gifts for Angie, but before he can present them to her, he finds that Don Lino kidnapped Angie in order to force a sit down.
Yeah, but that leaves a question: How did he capture Angie?
I don't know, but even then, we get a funny moment with the jellyfish trying to do this phone conversations. It's like doing this phone conversation. Doing this phone conversation. Well, Wash, give me the phone. Give me the phone. Where you get a whale of a wash?
Give me the phone. And the price is very, very low, considering how good the wash is.
Good one, Ernie. And Sai's like, oh, good grief. It's gosh. You get a whale of a wash. And the price is, oh my gosh. Me get it, man. Me get it, man. Well, wash. Rhymes with gosh.
Give me that. Get out of here. Go be useless someplace else.
Yep. Even Sykes later finds out after the phone conversation that Oscar has with Luca.
Luca.
Yeah, Luca the octopus. And Sykes is like, oh my god.
Yeah.
You did not lie. You did not lie, did you? Did you not lie? Did you lie? Please tell me you didn't lie, did you?
Yeah. And then Oscar got a call from got a call, and it turns out it was Don Lino. He says, "Is this the Shark Slayer?" Oscar says, "Yeah." "Who's this?" "Oh no! Oh no! Wait! It's Luca."
Yeah,
Oh, wait a
Luca.
minute. It's Luca. Oh, sorry, it's Luca. It's Luca. The Octo. I mean, I mean, forget about it. You follow these instructions to the letter. Like, okay. File cabinet, top drawer. There's a package. Get it. Oh my goodness. There's Kelpie cream.
Kelpie cream. There we go. I'm trying to think. What was the Krispy Kreme knockoff? So it was Kelpie cream.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's
And
a-
of course, yeah, this is the phone conversation.
There's a package. Get it. It turns out to be the pearl. That's right, tough guy. We got your girl. That's right. We got your girl. There's going to be a sit down in 1 hour.
Mm-hmm.
Who is it? Shh. Be there if you don't want to see her sleeping with the fishes. The dead ones.
Yep.
Now, nod your head if you understand.
Mm-hmm.
And now tell me if you nodded your head. And then Oscar says, "I nodded." Uh-oh.
Yep, not good.
No, but she's gonna get killed by the shark mafia. Yep, looks like they're on a mission.
Yep. So basically, now Lenny, disguised as a dolphin named Sebastian, they go to this sit-down meeting with Don Lino. So anyway, they arrive at the meeting to find Lola next to Don Lino. So yeah, Lola ratted these guys out, while Angie is bound and gagged with duct tape and presented to Don Lino on a plate, who prepares to eat her once Oscar doesn't comply. And Oscar just laughs, and Lenny, as Sebastian, lunges forward to scoop Angie into his mouth, freeing her from Donalino and giving Oscar dominance over the sharks. And he does this victory dance. Dun, 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 can't touch this. Dun, 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 dun.
Can't touch this. Stop.
Oscar time. Dun, 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 can't touch this.
Dun, 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 can't touch this.
I don't know why, but that's funny.
It's Oscar time.
Yeah, but it's Oscar time, alright. So anyway, he spends too much time threatening the sharks and doesn't realize how much pain Lenny is in.
Also, Lola is part of it.
Yeah, Lola is part of it, and Angie is regurgitated onto the table. There's also a license plate. There's also a license plate that actually references the Jaws movie.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was one of the license plates.
It's a 007-981.
I think that was a license plate number from the Jaws movie.
I don't know. And then the shark ate it.
Yeah, and that shark ate it. Yeah.
And then Don Lino recognizes his son.
Yeah, Don Lino recognizes him and he's like, "Lenny?
Is that you?
Yeah.
What are you wearing? Huh? What is that?
What are you wearing?"
Well, I dress up as a dolphin. Well, I painted myself. I just want to become something else.
Yeah, and Donnie was like, "Are you out of your mind?"
And then all the sharks were like, "Whoa! Hoo hoo hoo!"
And Luca, like, oh gosh, Luca just ruins the moment for Don Leon. He's like, "Hey, boss, it's Lenny. He was wearing a disguise, so we wouldn't recognize him.
Uh-oh.
But now he's not wearing a disguise, so we do recognize him." Like, shut the hell up, Luca. You just ruined the moment for Don Lino.
Not good.
Yeah, and of course, Don Lino was like, "Are you out of your mind? Do you have any idea how this looks?" And of course, like, you can't take sides against the family.
And then one of the hammerhead sharks says, "This is the best sit down I've ever been to."
Yeah.
What are you doing with these guys? He took out your flesh and blood. But Pop, blood nothing. You never take sides against the family.
Yeah.
And then Oscar says, "Hey, Don Lino, sir, it's not his fault. This is between you and me."
Actually, double back a second. The license plate that Lenny ate, it was basically the same license plate number from Jaws.
Oh.
Which the tiger shark had consumed when found by Matt Hooper and police chief Martin Brody.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, okay, now going back. And Donnie was like, "What did I do? What did I ever do to you?"
You took Frankie away. You turned Lenny into a dolphin.
And Donnie was like, I'm gonna get you now. And then Oscar swims away. He swims away to escape. And of course, he escapes through the wind. He escapes through the Titanic window, which Don Lino gets stuck in. And Don Lino's like, "You're gonna regret the day you become the Shark Slayer." Until then, the shrimp for earlier in the from early on are like, "Wow, look who's stuck in the porthole."
It's me, your shrimp. That was gonna be eaten by Lenny.
You still hungry, big guy? Well, say hello to my little friends.
Hello to my little friends.
It's basically all the shrimp, and they all they all bite him. They all bite his face off.
A nice reference to Scarface.
But he doesn't get a scar.
Nope. He still has that mole.
And he goes on to chase. He's like, okay, back to the whale wash. Try it again. You get a whale wash, and the price. Oh my gosh!
Yeah. All right. Oh, you got it. You got it.
But it's actually Oscar being chased by Don Leo, and he was like, "Move, everybody out of the way!" And all the whales are going to the whale wash, and all the whales escape.
Yes, and you also get to hear Hans Zimmer's musical score.
Yeah, and
I think there are some times that his score might get a little epic and tense.
right, and this is basically underwater. He's trying to do his own take on Jaws.
Yep, but then they both got into the car wash, and Oscar says, "Come on, Lino, it's time to clean up your act."
Ha ha, very funny. Ha 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 ha. So anyway, what ends up happening is that Angie and Lenny get trapped by one of the car wash contractions, or whale wash, excuse me.
Yep, but Oscar thinks that he got Don at first.
But nope, he got Lenny.
All right, Lino, game over. But it was Lenny who got trapped. But Lenny says, "Sorry, I couldn't help it."
Mm-hmm.
And then what's also funny,
and probably the funniest moment is when Don Lino is behind Oscar, and Oscar doesn't know, and he's like, "Uh-oh, he's right behind me, isn't he?"
His reaction, Oscar's reaction says it all.
He has a freak out reaction. And he's like, "Oh, he's right behind me, isn't he?"
He's behind me, and then
and Don Lino's voice is like, Don Lino's got a grin on his face. It's like, "You're mine now, Shark Slayer."
And then Don Lino says, "Let's finish this. Let's finish this, Shark Slayer."
Mm-hmm.
And then Oscar says, "Oh, we're about to." Well, they did.
Yep.
He's also trapped. He's trapped too.
Yep.
I forgot one of those cleaners, whale wash cleaners.
Mm-hmm.
So he is stuck.
Yep.
So he got stuck, and then he got his teeth cleaned. He got his teeth cleaned.
Got his teeth cleaned, and of course one of the workers was like, "Thank you for coming to whale wash."
So yeah, they're both stuck.
Yes, they're both stuck.
And then he was able to pop Angie out of the bubble.
Yep, pop Angie out of the bubble.
And we got the news reporter back.
Mm-hmm.
This time, luring two sharks into... And she says, this time, luring two sharks into his death trap of hygiene.
Yep.
They're all saying, "Shark Slayer, Shark Slayer.
Shark Slayer.
Oscar, you're the somebody everybody wants to be."
So everybody's basically, crowding around Oscar until he steps up and is like, "I'm not the Shark Slayer."
He's not. Oscar lied.
Yeah, he has enough, confesses that he's not a Shark Slayer, and that it was the anchor that killed Frankie.
And then Don Lino understands what went down, what happened to Lenny.
Yeah,
Frankie.
Yeah, he starts to understand. Wait, what? You didn't kill Frankie? He stated to Don Lino that everyone likes Lenny for the way he is, strongly urging him to not prejudge people before he knows them properly and to not make the mistake.
Even the crowd was like, "And I am not a real financial advisor."
Dude, Crazy Joe, stop being a character.
Yeah.
And Oscar tells Don Lino that it was the anchor that killed Lenny, that killed Frankie.
And Don Leo's Oscar says, I didn't have anything to do with it, and neither did Lenny. And then Don Leo says, well, that's true. Then when that's true, then why did you that well is that's true. Then why did you run away? Because Lenny always wanted it because he says because you always wanted me to be like Frankie. Because he wants to be like Frankie.
Mm-hmm.
Don Lino wants Lenny to be like Frankie.
Yeah, and Oscar's like, so what if Lenny likes kelp and dresses like a dolphin? So what? You know?
Well, what's your problem?
And his best friends with the fish.
And he's best friends with a fish. So what?
Everybody loves him just the way he is.
Why don't you?
Why don't you?
Oh,
You know, it could be saying, well, it's business. I mean, I just want to share the family business. You know, I mean, that should have been a line added in, you know?
yeah, which kind of makes sense.
Which would have made more sense, you know? Like, that way he comes to realize maybe Lenny doesn't want the business, you know?
Don't make the same mistake. Don't make the same mistake that I do. I didn't know what I had until I lost it.
Yeah.
So
Oscar gets Don Lino out of that contraption, and Don Lino apologizes to Lenny and reconciles with him while making peace with Oscar. And the way how they do it, it's like, hey, Don Lino, are we cool? And Don was like, yeah, we're cool. Stating that he and his gang bear sharks, bear him no ill will. And Oscar forsakes all the wealth he has acquired, makes peace with the sharks, becomes a manager of the whale wash, now frequented by sharks, and starts dating Angie, to which they both share a kiss.
yep.
And starts to have a happy, honest life, while the cameos of
Christina Aguilera
and Missy Elliott come in to sing a cover song of Car Wash, working at the car wash, yeah. And then we even get a moment between Don Lino and Sykes. Even the shrimp also dance along too, right?
Yes,
And Don and Sykes were like,
they're
"Hey,
trying.
hey, what? What? Hey,
I'm snapping. You're trying to do a handshake. You know, snapping. I'm snapping.
hey, you yo me one more time. I'm gonna yo me one more time. I'm gonna yo you.
Yo, dude. Yo, whoa.
Hey, you want to know what's also interesting too? With all the with the punchlines of some of these advertisements, you know, they chose Fishy Christina Aguilera and Fishy Missy Elliott. They didn't name them Christina Algae nor Fishy Elliott.
Oof.
Like, dude, Fishy Elliott and Christina Algae.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, why didn't they name those fish celebrities? Christina Algae and Fishy Elliott.
Yeah, I mean, dude, DreamWorks.
Wow, what missed opportunity right there.
Yes, and they were able to do the singing.
Yep.
And then all the shark gangs were all dancing too.
Yeah.
Then and then we also get the names of the cast too.
Yeah, the names of the cast too. Yeah. Actually, it was also interesting too. Anthony and well, actually, never mind. But anyway, yeah, we get the names of the cast, and the movie ends with the dance off, you know.
And there's also an end credits scene.
Yes, there is an end credits scene where Lola goes back to the apartment, and she was like, "Hey, look. I mean, I know I maybe," and she was like, "Hello, Oscar."
Oscar, listen, baby, I know I was a bad girl.
But come on. You had to be crazy not to take me back. Think again, Lola. Oscar will not take you back after what happened.
And then the crabs showed up.
Did someone say crazy?
With a flower.
Yep.
Okay.
And the movie ends like that.
Okay, I'm pretty sure he he makes out with Lola.
He probably did.
But,
So, yeah.
Like, wow, oh my goodness.
Oh my
Oh my
goodness.
goodness. There's so
Oh yeah. Okay, so that's the end of the movie. So there you have it, folks. That's our breakdown of this movie.
yeah.
Okay, a lot going on in this movie, but look, even as crazy as some of the moments are, they are fun moments. Is this movie as bad as people are saying it is? Not really.
Now,
No, I mean it's bad in its own way. It's bad in its own way, but it has a certain charm to get people's attention. I mean, yeah, it's not like the other DreamWorks movies, but it's definitely a movie to have fun with, even if it's bad.
so bad it's good.
Yeah, so bad it's good. It's got its moments, even if the character designs are creepy, like they are pretty creepy. I'm not gonna lie, they're creepy in the way of how the CGI was handled.
Yes, I feel like the CGI would have. I feel like the visual effects artists could have done a much better job with the visual effects.
If Pacific Image Data that DreamWorks has did this movie, I think it would have turned out. It would have been a bit better.
Yes. Also, there's also a weak moral narrative on Oscar. The protagonist, Oscar, was frequently called out as a self-absorbed and unlikable, muddying the film's intended message about honesty.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that Oscar wasn't really that much of an honest character. Now, don't get me wrong. Will Smith was having a lot of fun with this movie, but his character alone wasn't really like that honest until the end.
Yeah, but the other voice actors now, aside from Will Smith, Jack Black really did a fantastic job voicing Lenny. He actually got that voice,
Mm-hmm.
and especially Robert De Niro as Don Lino.
Yeah.
Also, now there's also another actor who voiced Frankie, Michael Imperioli.
Yeah. Imperioli. Yeah.
I mean,
He played Frankie. Played Frankie, Lenny's brother.
I mean, he wasn't in that movie for that long.
Yeah, even Vincent Pastore plays the octopus Luca. I thought was interesting choice. Like the cast in this movie does a good job.
Also, Katie Couric, her.
Katie Couric, who is a journal, who is a journalist, plays herself, but as a fish named Katie Current.
Mm-hmm.
Like the current wave current.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like everybody did very well with the material that they had.
Martin Scorsese, though, he does a good job voicing.
Oh no, Martin Scorsese was a good choice. Jack Black was also good. I'm actually glad that Jack Black and Angelina Jolie got second chances with DreamWorks in Kung Fu Panda.
Also, going back to Angelina Jolie, she is very good as Lola.
Mm-hmm.
But her character, she is a femme fatale and a gold digger lionfish.
Yep.
Who is only interested in those who are rich and famous, in whom Oscar develops a romantic interest.
Mm-hmm.
And Renee Zellweger also did a good job of voicing Angie. And
Yeah.
she would later do another voice role in B Movie.
Yeah. That's right. She was in B Movie. So story-wise, it wasn't really much of a story, to be honest. But if this was actually true, it should have been Oscar as an older fish telling the story to his children.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it would have played out like that.
Yes. But I feel like the animation design could have done. DreamWorks could have done a much better job with the animation design.
I feel like the animation design and the story could have been a lot better.
But the CGI, looking back at it, it looks very dated.
Yeah, the CGI for the fish do look dated. Yeah. I mean, I do like the world itself, but even then, it's kind of like, yeah, it's basically, New York City underwater.
And of course, it did garner an Oscar nomination. And the same can be said with Shrek 2.
Same with Shrek 2, but The Incredibles beat them both out. Like, Shark Tales has got a 34% 35% on Rotten Tomatoes, saying derivative and full of pop culture jokes. That's it.
Yes, I feel like that sets it all.
But people grew up on this movie. There's a lot of people who grew up in this movie, and you know what? That's fine. I mean, hey, and that's fine. And even people today, still enjoy this movie. I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's a fun movie to watch.
It is.
A film. I mean, like, it's not like you can't take it serious, but I would enjoy. I mean, I would watch this movie. I would watch this movie again. Yes, it's bad, but I would watch it because it's funny.
It is.
Because it's funny. It's funny. It's even memorable. Even if it's even if the moments are cringy too.
Mhm.
But anyway, with that being said, that's pretty much about it for this movie. Like, overall, the movie itself is not great, but it's a fun movie to look back on.
Also, Hans Zimmer really did a good job with the score, even though it's not as epic as his previous films from DreamWorks. But I feel like his score was how should I say this?
I feel like his score. I mean, I don't know. I feel like his score in this movie, like, it's pretty hit or miss.
Yes.
Like, it's not. I mean, you could definitely tell Hans Zimmer wanted to take a break from doing epic scores, and that's fine. I mean, or making it his own, doing his own take on Jaws. I mean, interesting.
Yeah. So anyway, I gotta say, I got a feeling that's a wrap for this episode.
Yep. So anyway, there you have it, folks. That is our take on Shark Tale.
Well,
Now,
it's time to swim on out of here.
Yep, time to swim away, folks. So anyway, with that being said, what did you guys think of Shark Tale? Did you like this movie? Did you not like this movie? Did you think this movie was okay? Do you think this movie is still fun? Do you think this movie is still a decent movie to this day? I would love to hear your thoughts.
I would say it's decent.
I'd say that too, yeah.
It's decent, but not in a good way.
But in a fun way.
Yeah. Well, in a fun way, I should say.
Alright. So anyway, with that being said, that will be a wrap for this episode. Thank you all for tuning in to Codo Cinema. I'm your host, Mark Codo, aka Codoman.
And I'm Mike Codo.
Remember to watch movies and stay positive.